What's up, family? Welcome back to an all new episode of Point of View. It is Friday, and we got Willie Montague with us again.
Willie!
Welcome back, Willie. So, coming up, the Trump administration admits they mistakenly sent a Maryland father to a mega prison in El Salvador, and now they cannot get him back. And later in Girlfriend's Guide, we're talking love at first sight. Is it real or is it just a fairy tale? And of course, we're closing out the show with unpopular opinion, which you don't want to miss. So pull up a seat, join the discussion. You're watching POV. So imagine this. You're living in Maryland with your family, legally protected from deportation. Then, out of the blue, you're arrested and sent to one of the most notorious prisons in El Salvador, all due to an administrative error by the government. This is exactly what happened to Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. A father and a husband whose sudden deportation has left his family devastated and sparked national outrage. Despite a 2019 court ruling granting him protection from deportation, Kilmar was mistakenly sent back to a country that he fled from. And now the government admits that they cannot get him back. What are y'all thoughts on this? Please, Willie.
Yes.
Well,
See
since you guys are so willing to blame the Trump administration, it was clear that they said it was an administrative error.
That doesn't fall back on him?
Ooh.
Well, it was an administrative error. Yes, it was an administrative error. They admitted it. Now, let me say if they didn't admit it, then y'all be up here talking about Trump is trash. What do y'all want? He's admitting that it was administrative error. Is that correct? Yes. Mm-hmm. So, from what I read, there is some things in the works where they are working on getting him back. So I know they're saying he won't be back, but I do believe that they're working on something. We're talking about President Trump. President Trump is able to shake this world.
Right, but until he's able to get him back, he's in El Salvador.
Yes, in a prison. What is sea cult prison? It's like the notoriously bad prison.
It is
Everyone
violent.
knows about it.
But why y'all looking at me like I put him there?
Because that's your man.
Well, you are highly supportive.
Look, y'all looking at me like I'm
Yeah, that's your man. I'm like, what you
I'd
gonna
like to
say?
hear your thoughts on it all.
I'm just saying that, okay, so let's look at it from this way. We do have a problem with illegals that's here, and there may be some crossfire, some errors, but overall, President Trump and what he has done to make sure that the illegal aliens that have been in this country are gone. So for us to sit here and take the 1% and not look at the 99% of the effectiveness that this is doing to be able to safeguard and protect the United States and not other countries, I think that is just the overreach that we see the fake CNN news and those type of news places do those things.
I guess I'd just like to know how like a careless mistake like this could even happen in the first place.
Oh, because they're trying to move so fast to get people out, anybody out. Just get them out. Just trying to move expeditious. Let's move fast. Get them out.
Yeah.
And then this is what happens.
That man could die over there. He got a whole family over here, and it was a mistake for administrative error.
Well,
And then they're saying that, he's trying to get them back over here. He seems to not have any problem shaking down any other country, so I don't know why El Salvador is being difficult for him.
Okay, fair, but let's look at this. Where has this outcry been when those same illegals have done those things to the United States citizens that have raped and beat and brought the drugs over here? So where is that urgency to get them out of here? Why is it that he's over there? It's an error. How did this error get made? Where was the error?
I believe that the government has been on top of getting those people back home as well.
You really think that?
I do.
What government?
This government has been on top of trying to get people from other countries back here.
President Trump has been on top of getting it back. But it has not been the previous administration.
It has not been?
If it was up to the previous administration, would have open borders, and every single drug addicted, porn-loving
It's the only way the country makes money. And it's high up in the government.
Would have been over across this border.
It's the same people that claim to be stopping it, the same people that's allowing it to come in here.
Who's allowing it? Names.
Isn't your friend Trump? Your president?
Trump is allowing what?
Is that your friend?
Your president.
Listen. The government labeled Abrego Garcia as an MS-13 gang member based on unverified claims. Could this be the government trying to cover up their mistakes?
Yes, of course.
I believe that.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Willie, tell us otherwise.
Well, I mean, why is it that it's always like, President Trump and his administration is bad?
Because he's a liar.
Let's go back.
He has proved
President Trump.
This is the same president.
Lying about
This is
what?
that same president that says, "Oh, I love God so much, but I don't need forgiveness."
For one.
What?
That's the basis of Christianity.
Going back the last years.
That's the basis of Christianity.
Well, the basis of Christianity that should be
We all have fallen short of the glory of God, and we all need forgiveness. Except for president.
The basis of the United States of America.
He even said he loves the blacks so much he could be y'all Messiah.
Willie, you know I do enjoy having you here, but sometimes I question it. Let's talk about the role that the media plays in this situation. Abrego Garcia's wife was never notified, but found out about this situation through social media herself.
Lord.
So she didn't even know.
How heartbreaking.
And she found out through social media. And what you got to say about that, Willie?
It's social media that has divided this country. So
oh my goodness, you will say anything not to put the blame where it's supposed to be. The responsibility.
There's no one to blame.
The accountability.
There is no one to blame. When you blame someone when they do not admit to an error, did they not admit that there was an administrative error?
They admitted to it, an administrative error, and then turned back around and tried to take it back and say, "Oh well, he is part of the game."
The question at hand is, did or did they not?
No, not totally.
They
admit it and leave it there. Don't admit it and try to take it back to try to make what you did right.
No, we're not rolling anything.
You're trying to make what you did wrong. Instead of just saying
we made a mistake. Because Raquel and Willie is not going to let me get a word out about Trump. Okay?
Not going to do it.
Former NBA player Matt Barnes is opening up about his split from Miss Sims, saying he recently lost his family due to being emotionally unavailable. But Ananza, I am not sure if I am butchering that, ma'am. I am so sorry. We're going to call her Miss Sims. Isn't buying it. She clapped back, claiming he made no effort to support her or their kids, and previously accused him of cheating with 8 different women in 1 month alone. Let's see what Matt had to say.
My actions, I literally just lost my family through being what you talked about, I was the strong provider. I wasn't there emotionally. I wasn't empathetic. I wasn't willing to share those emotions. And that was stuff that my ex would tell me, you're a wall. And then again, trying to dig back and understand and starting counseling that, like you said, little Matt from back then is still hurt. My actions, I literally just lost.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Little Matt is fine. But listen.
Big Matt is a
Listen, when men say I lost my whole family, do we really feel like they are taking accountability for their actions?
What did you want him to do? Roll down in sackcloth and ashes?
Excuse me?
I mean, he literally sat there and said that he lost his whole family. What do you want him to say outside of that?
Because of his own action.
But he's saying, and what do y'all want when someone amid error? Do you want them to cut their vein open and spill blood out on the street?
Maybe we want the error not to happen at all, because 8 different women in 1 month.
He could have kept his stuff in his pants. That could be a big part of it.
He could have just been loyal and he wouldn't have lost his family.
All he said was that I was emotionally unavailable. Well, apparently he wasn't emotionally unavailable. He was with 8 other women.
Just because he was with 8 other women do not mean that emotion was attached.
There was some emotion.
Emotion was attached.
There was some emotion because he was able to get something going.
And he communicated that he was emotionally unavailable, then maybe they wouldn't be in this situation.
So let me ask you this question. We don't know. We don't live in their house. We haven't been to their house. We have no clue what goes in their home. Let me say this before you head. Well, everybody but Junie. She been up in this house, but she wanted the 8. Now listen.
Don't you say that. Don't you say that.
Now listen. So,
y'all playing too much. I'm about to move on.
It's this Friday, y'all.
I'm trying to get right. I'm trying to get this out.
Go ahead.
If there was issues going on with this marriage, right? Beforehand, let's think about when he's detached. We don't know what goes on in that dynamic of the marriage. Okay. And so sometimes in people's not having emotional intelligence, they act in an irrational way. So I'm not taking up for him, but sometimes that's what people do. They go out and they start hoeing because they think that that's the only way to be able to make up for the loss. And I believe that's what he did. But I believe he's come back and saying, I was in a cloudy place in that time, and I lost my family being in a cloudy place. So I'm not taking up for him. I'm just simply saying that we don't know the dynamics of that marriage and what happened, where he just probably like, oh, that's it, I need to go out and find me some other pieces of tail.
Okay, so, well, why is it that some men who cheat position themselves as the victim of a breakup despite causing the pain?
Willie?
Answer the question, Willie. Because this is about men. You are the only man at this table.
Yes, so please inform us.
Re-ask the question. They come in. I can't with y'all today.
Okay, why do men play the victim in situations that they have caused the woman pain in, instead of just taking accountability for their own actions?
I like how
it's the Adam complex. What? It's the Adam complex. It's the woman you gave me. It was you, God. It was the woman you gave me.
No, it was because my grandma died.
Responsible, but not me. Never responsible.
So you say it's the Adam complex?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay, so what I was
never responsible.
What I was getting ready to say. Thank you. What I was getting ready to say is that this is a broad statement. You ask, why do men? All men don't do that. And so I believe that
most men play victim.
No, there is no most men. You're putting a statistic that you have no proof
well,
for.
you put most women as emotional
I didn't say most women do nothing. That is a fact.
Listen, you guys, I would love to hear when we finish this statement, but we got to cut to commercial break. Coming up right after this, we have Girlfriend's Guide and Unpopular Opinions. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. You're watching Point of View.
Hello, social media friends. Look, we have a question for you. Hello, social media friends. We have a question for you. Which zodiac sign do you clash with the most, no matter how much you try not to?
Gemini.
Gemini?
Gemini.
Why?
Gemini, like, I've had the worst experience with Geminis, and I think it's because, first of all, they're two-faced. They're naturally two-faced.
Yeah, that is
true.
You know,
like they have their good side and then they have their super, super evil side. My experience with Geminis is exactly that. They're super, super sweet and then they're super, super evil. I'm not going to say I hate because hate is very strong.
It is strong.
But Geminis are just not my cup of tea.
My mom's a Gemini. Go ahead.
Virgo.
Oh, you stop it right now. I'm a Virgo. And we are the most...
Like, we love Raquel.
We're the most honest.
And she's an earth sign, so she's somewhat grounded.
She grounds, but they try to ground Sagittarius. But they sometimes they're emotional, very emotional.
I would agree. I haven't seen Raquel super emotional, but I have come across super emotional Capricorns and Virgos, which are also earth signs, but Taurus are earth signs too, and I'm not super emotional, so it's weird.
Mine is Cancer. Okay, two people that I've liked Cancer. Apparently, I may be attracted to Cancer, but it never works out. Always clashing. Always a problem. That might be a little manipulative. I don't know. What's your sign?
Sagittarius.
Yeah, I clash with that.
You know.
That's what I clash with for sure.
The greatest sign.
All right, y'all, we wrapping it up. We back to the show on POV, y'all.
Welcome back to the show. I really hope y'all be following us on social media because our little halftime, break time conversations be tea. But now it's time to dive into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. All right, y'all. So the question of the day is, do you believe in love at first sight, or is it some sort of made-up fairy tale? Some say you just know when you meet the one, while others think real love takes time to grow. We've got a man on the panel today, so we're getting the best of both sides of this debate. Mr. Willie Montague, do you believe in love at first sight?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Have you ever experienced love at first
No,
sight?
but I believe that there's love at first sight. Then I believe there's lust at first sight.
Ooh.
But I definitely do believe that there's love at first sight. As you said, there's something that's there, and I believe this on the biblical standpoint, if you let me. On the biblical standpoint, is that there is, if you read in Genesis, it talked about the womb of the man, and then you have the rib taken. So I believe if you go and there's something that is missing from you as a man, that's why I believe that love at first sight is connection, because it's like that's your missing piece, and you can't do nothing without it. So that's how I feel.
So most people never really, like in a lifetime, don't experience love at first sight. Why do you think that is?
Maybe they're not searching, or they're not in the right place. I don't think there's not. I believe. I mean, we have 7 billion people in the world. There's no way that there's not someone out there that is designed
perfectly aligned with
for
you.
You just gotta get. Sometimes we think it's always find them in church. It may not be. You may be going to the grocery store, may bump into them, may ask them to get you something off the shelf, and that may be something. You never know.
Oh my God!
waiting for
Please
that.
get the bread for me.
I keep waiting for that to happen.
Lord,
Please, I can't reach the bread. Oh, no.
Oh, that's what I gotta do.
I guess so. Or maybe you got to bend down and get the crackers. Get the saltine crackers. You got to keep the saltine crackers down low. So maybe you got to bend down and get it. I don't know. Oh my God, sir. Love of my life.
I need help.
See, that's where the lust come in.
Do we think
Messed it all up.
Do we think that men are more visual, leading them to fall faster, while women tend to be more emotionally intuitive?
No, I think women can see too.
I think so.
I think we have a little more insight though a lot of times, but I think,
As you grow up.
yeah,
As
but
you grow up, I think women do become way more intuitive.
yeah, but they say men are visual. Psh, I'm visual too. Okay,
I definitely
got it.
No, I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
I got a dark like she had everything.
I definitely think men are visual people, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like this era of the BBL warriors has come from men, because men have this unrealistic vision of women, and women have programmed them. Some women, not all women, because I don't have one, but some women have programmed their minds to think like, oh my God, I have to have this Coke-shaped body, or I'm not going to be aesthetically pleasing enough. Like, my pictures are not going to look good. Like, no man will ever, like me or love me.
You think that's really about a man, or it's just that they see that picture, they see that image, and believe that that's how they will look
Why
better?
else is a woman getting her body?
Well, I mean, I think
I hope it's not because of no man.
I think Lord help her. I think it can be on both sides. I think that I think the man is visual, and I think that we're more outspoken, where the women can be visual too, because there's a standard that they have, because you hear it all the time. You don't meet that, but they're just not as outspoken. They judge internally, and then you don't even know what their expectations are until you.
No, I judge externally too.
Yeah, I can see that.
You have to.
I can see that.
A person only knows what you tell them. So you have to tell somebody what you don't like.
That's the point, and that's often why I believe relationships clash down the road,
because they're not honest.
Right, it becomes this meshing of, oh my God, this love at first sight, but you don't have that conversation. You didn't have a conversation.
Okay, so
Now
listen.
I do believe in love at first sight. I believe in love at first sight, and I believe that it can happen. But I think a lot of times that we interpret lust, we misconstrue that as love at first sight. And if we could just get that, what love and the lust is, I think we would do much better.
You want to explain that to our viewers?
I do not, because I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Okay, well, could
Just don't have no
believing
sex.
in love at first sight set people up for unrealistic expectations and even ending up just disappointed? Yes?
No, I don't
think-
want that.
No?
Well, I think I just like to romanticize love, probably.
Of course. We all,
So-
well, I mean, most of us.
I
Really.
don't want it to be disappointed.
I missed the question. I'm sorry. I was still laughing at Raquel.
What is that? What's the question again?
No, we're moving on. Is it love or projection? Do people tend to fall in love with who someone is or who we want them to be in that first moment?
It's both.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
think
lie.
so.
I do think that, sometimes we do fall in love with people's representative. I've been a victim of that.
Oh, me too.
And then sometimes you do get disappointed a little bit down the road. Shut up, Willie. You get disappointed a little bit down the road because, you don't have those important conversations about, you know, like what your goals are, what you're actually looking for. Are you actually even looking for a relationship, or do you just like the way I look?
Right.
You know, like there are so many conversations that aren't being had in the beginning, and I feel like that's the disappointment comes in a few months later because you don't actually know that person.
But some people will tell you what they think you want to hear.
Well, that,
Right.
That's your representative.
but over
Right.
time,
You know.
that all
Right.
is exposed.
Sure.
It takes time. Stop getting into bed prematurely. Take the time to.
A lot of people
map it out.
don't get into bed.
I just have to say it. So
oh,
just
because
in
it felt
case.
like you was attacking me or something.
A lot of people don't get
like
into
you
bed.
like you thought
that-
I was at Matt Barnes' house before. Like, relax. It's Friday.
Just in case.
And sometimes some people just, be like, hey, we gonna hit it and quit it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Y'all hear me say it? Now, what's in this tape? No.
Oh
No, but
my.
I know honestly, if those are the intentions, then just set those intentions ahead of time, because you never know, that other person might just be on a fling type of time too.
It would just be really nice. I feel for me, I like to present myself the way I am. Like I take my makeup off, if I have my wig on, take it off. I need you to know who I am. I need to tell you how I feel about things.
Yes.
But I don't want you telling me how you feel just because you're trying to, accommodate me or make me like you. Tell me who you are.
Yes.
Just be honest. Feel good about yourself enough that you're willing to not bring a representative and just bring yourself.
Yes, because I'm gonna find out who you really are eventually.
You go
anyway.
because you
What,
can't keep
had
it
a
up that
thought to
long.
finish?
All right, y'all go on with yourself.
Uh-uh.
Finally, y'all come with some sense. Okay.
Ooh,
God bless
really?
you. Y'all have a good Friday.
Really?
All right, let's get into
Yes,
our
ma'am.
final segment of the day, which is unpopular opinion. All right, let's talk about something that's been causing quite a bit of controversy. China's recent crackdown on the LGBTQIA representation in media. They've banned same-sex relationships from TV and even restricted the portrayal of feminine men. A lot of LGBTQIA plus shows have been canceled, and transgender figures are facing more scrutiny than ever. How do we feel about China cracking down on the community?
Can we just establish what IA is first?
Yes, intersexual and asexual.
Can you say what?
And
those
there are
mean?
more. There
there's more?
There are.
Yeah, there's
there
over
are-
100 ridiculous pronouns.
You need to watch your language on
So
this show.
there is
Watch your language.
there is over 100 of them. But I would say this: China is known is a communist country, right? It's not America's problem. That's the first thing. I think we can establish that because we have a great president, President Donald J. Trump, that makes sure that we
He is
understand
not gonna give you no job.
that we
He is not gonna do
that
it.
we have absolutely found that China has been at the back of America and trying to destroy America from within. So I would say that this is not something shocking. You know how controlling and narcissistic that China's government is? It's not a shock. So
Oh,
But isn't
because,
it something
because
your
Trump is
own
not
president's
controlling
trying to
and
do?
narcissistic, huh?
Yeah, isn't he controlling
Let-
narcissistic? And doesn't he not like the LGBT?
that's
Didn't
not
he
true.
carry on about
That's not
that?
true. No, that's
A
not
lot of-
true.
didn't a lot of people vote on that? He ran
hosts
on something like
every
that?
year. Here we go.
Hosts
every
every
year he hosts a
Because he said
gala
he-
at
yeah,
Mar-a-Lago
I bet he
for
does.
the Log Cabin Republicans, which is a gay Republican group. So please
I
don't come
bet he
talk about
does.
that. Every year. So
Willie, I can't believe
I can
you.
see that every year.
What message could this be sending to the LGBTQIA plus teens and young adults in China? Because regardless of wherever you're at, you are who you are and you like what you like. So whether you're in China, whether you're in the United States, you're in the UK, you're in Africa, wherever you are, what message is this sending to those young adults?
That they don't want that represented on their media.
How do you tell people what their sexual preference is?
I don't
I don't
I
think-
never
I don't- wait,
understood
hold on,
why
wait, wait.
that
I
was.
don't-
How they
now,
tell them?
I'm just saying this all jokes aside. I don't think they're trying to tell them what to do in their preference. I think they're trying to say they don't want it on the airways. They don't want it to be something that their taxpayer dollars or whatever, how it works over in China is what happens to be presented.
But
So I
why?
because that's how China. This is where we get confused. There's
how they
over
feel
200 countries, and so each country has their own way of doing things. And China is one of those countries that are very hard on traditional things. No matter how we don't like them, they've always been a traditional style. They even I don't know if it's still that way. They even number how many children you can have at one time.
Right.
Wasn't you can only have 2 kids.
Right, till they ended up with a shortage of women. How smart is that?
Lord my God.
How smart is that?
And hence here now this is because they didn't have a shortage of women, they all ended up being an I or A in the LGBTQA.
Oh, you stop
So
it.
then this is why we
Stop that right now, Willie. You stop that right now, Willie.
I'm not.
No, the
Because
government, they wanted to get rid of the girls.
I would love.
Stop
I'm about
them
to
from having girls.
Is this point of view or not?
Stop
Is this
them
not
from
my point of
having
view?
girls
Guys,
and
that is
decided
a wrap.
don't have
This is
one.
not my-
Today's episode, Willie has
posted too
officially pissed
early.
me off for
Is
the
this
night.
not the point of
But
view?
we're gonna leave you with a quote of the day to carry with you through the
They
weekend.
just wasn't that smart.
Hard days are the best because that's when champions are made. And that was from Gabby Douglas. Remember, tough moments build strong people. Stay encouraged, stay empowered, and we'll see you right here next week only on Afro TV.